Holly was born in December 2001. She was born with an infection and had to spend some time in the special care baby unit. It was only when I started discussing her future with the doctors that I realised that Holly had sustained such a brain injury, and she had cerebral palsy, which affected all of her limbs, all of her muscles, including the muscles within her throat, that she possibly was never going to be able to eat again. This was very hard for me because obviously that bond that you get with your newborn baby when you're feeding them, that was all of a sudden taken away from me. And it broke my heart to think that I would never have that bond with Holly where I would feel this closeness. Also, I was thinking about the enjoyment that I get out of food and pleasure of eating and the sensation. And it really upset me to think that Holly was never going to be able to experience this. We had an NG tube, which was very difficult for us. You know, for any mum to have to insert an NG tube into your child is really quite a difficult task. The dietitian and the intensive care doctor sat me down and spoke to me and said, we've got to think of a long-term way of how we're going to feed Holly. They said, have you ever heard about peg feeding? And I said, no, I have no idea. So they brought along one of the pegs, they showed me what it was, and they told me how it was going to be inserted into Holly's stomach, how she was going to have this stoma now, and that this was going to be our only way of obviously keeping Holly alive and feeding her and enabling her to leave the hospital. I was petrified when I brought Holly out of the hospital environment because I felt like, well, it was just going to be me and I'm going to be solely responsible. But then the nutrition nurse came out, she gave us her contact, we had regular visits of her, and she made that process a lot more easier for me. She gave me confidence to be able to feed Holly at home. She enabled us to not be scared to ask for help as well. Before we had the gastrostomy, I was very scared, and it was fear of the unknown. Having the gastrostomy has changed Holly's life, and it enabled us to live a different life than what we were doing. So, you know, I would always say to anybody, if you're reluctant about a gastrostomy, it has been one of the best decisions we've ever made for Holly, because I don't think we would have Holly here today had we not had a gastrostomy done.